Hey guys, this is Feeder here, and I'm going to be watching a Defense 3 replay this evening between Navi and Team Empire. Unfortunately, I was not around earlier today when the game was live, but it's got a lot of likes, so I'm looking forward to it. And I did take a look up at the lineups and the results from the earlier games, since I felt like that would give a little more, I guess, lead up to what's going to happen here. Navi did win the first game. It was a 50-minute game, and it looks like they did very well with an Enchantress, Luna, and Queen of Pain. They also had Darkseer and Venomancer, but that Enchantress was the one with most of the kills, which kind of surprised me. Haven't seen very much of her in the tournament, and she's a pretty great hero, so kind of sorry I missed that, but oh well, so it is. And the second game, Empire came back and won a 20-minute pushing game. Looks like Kodal and Nature's Prophet probably got that in for them. And saw Clinks, by the way, played in both games, in the first game for Empire, second game for Navi. And did see a very exciting Clinks game yesterday where he just owned everybody. So I'm wondering if Navi and Empire were paying attention to that and decided to give him a shot themselves. Not sure. So in any case, since this is a replay, I'm just going to have to press play here and get you guys onto the picks and bans screen as soon as it comes up. Also, since this is a replay, I am going to feel free to slow things down if the action looks really good and interesting. I might not do that, but it's a possibility, so in any case. Looks like picks and bans are up, so let's get over to that. Team Empire starting things off with a Neeks Assassin ban. This is such a standard ban this tournament. Y'all know why. He's got that Wicked Stun, the Mana Burn, the Vendetta, and the Spiked Carapace. All useful skills, great for ganking. Fantastic support hero, does not need much farm. What more could you want? Batrider ban coming from Navi. This is another... I feel like I never get to see Batrider getting played because they always ban him. It's like somebody's got to do it every time, ban the Batrider. I think it's probably due to his early gank potential and nice AoE, fire all over everything, and of course the sticky napalm slowing the speed and the turn radius, and of course increasing damage taken by Batrider and his abilities, so it's a pretty big deal. And he's really great here in the mid. Other bans, Darkseer and Wisp. This is just totally standard, banning these Darkseer, the pushing support hero, and Wisp, the map presence support hero. But picking up Empire, Keeper of the Light, speaking of pushing support heroes, can spam that Illuminate to kill creep waves, finish off enemy heroes, and otherwise make himself useful. He also has the Chakra Magic, which is a huge deal, especially to keep your lane partner perhaps in a tri-lane at full mana, so they can keep up spam and the harass if there is anyone else there. Wow, fast pickup on the Luna from Navi. Luna and Magnus picked very quickly here, and that does give Empire the advantage of knowing who the carry is. It's almost certainly Luna. I can't imagine them picking really another person that they'd put her in a different lane for, but it's possible, I suppose. Luna, very powerful hero. The glaives making sort of a built-in cleave, and of course she's ranged and extremely fast. Highest base move speed in the game, by the way. Picking up Enchantress again. This is sort of a repeat from the earlier game that I missed, which was supposedly very good. And of course Magnus, very popular. You know what he does. They're picking very quickly right now. But let's take a quick talk about Enchantress, since she's a little unusual for this tournament, not seeing a lot of her. She does have a built-in slow, which is activated when you attack her. Makes her an excellent jungler. It slows the attack speed of who's ever attacking her. So, basically awesome. She's also got the ability to control a creep, take over a creep. It works just like Helm of the Dominator or Chen's... I can't even remember what Chen's thing is called. But she can take over jungle creeps, which also helps her jungle. It also helps her gank. And she's got this ability which scales very well into the late game, Impetus. And it will give bonus damage based on how far away she is from whoever she's attacking. And that is pure damage, by the way. So, huge deal. Can't really get around that. Pickups from Team Empire, Undying and Lone Druid, and I'm getting a bit behind, so I'm going to speed up. Undying picked for his awesome ability to steal strength and throw down a tombstone and just kill all the things with zombies. Lone Druid, a great pusher, been seeing him carry a lot in this tournament. Of course, he can really beef up that bear. Towards the end of the game, the bear will just be an unstoppable monster, and the best part about it is when it dies, Lone Druid is still fine, and he can resummon it if he's got that off cooldown. Getting back to round 2 of the bans. Banning Broodmother. Team Empire perhaps worried that Navi needs a little bit of push potential. And also Shadow Demon, a support that's been getting quite a bit of action in this tournament. He's got all sorts of fantastic abilities. Anti-carry. He can basically debuff and slow somebody. That's his ultimate. And it's really, really powerful slow. It's like you just sort of get crushed there. And he can disrupt, which creates 2 illusions of anyone. He can disrupt himself, he can disrupt someone on the other team, he can disrupt someone on his own team. And those illusions do quite a bit of damage, depending on, you know, if he's able to disrupt a carry. And finally, they will ban Queen of Pain. I think Navi plays, Dandy probably plays that quite well in the mid. I would assume it's Dandy. He's a mid-hero player, and they don't want to be fearing those ganks from her. So she's a pretty powerful hero and something they just don't want to see. Navi banning out Weaver, Puck, and Bane. Squishy heroes with irritating abilities. Weaver, of course, being more of a carry, but still that double attack and his ability to go invisible and run off, and reverse time is just irritating. Sort of twitchy like Puck is. And Bane, of course, crowd control. Not really wanting to see that, especially with Luna and Enchantress. You don't want to have one gripped and the other in a nightmare. It's pretty useless. So Gyrocopter is coming up as a pick for Empire. Been seeing him played as a support, played as a carry. We will see here whether he or the Lone Druid might be the top farm hero for Team Empire. They could conceivably pick a carry that is not either of those two, although I don't see that happening. I think they need one more support hero. But it is possible. Lone Druid very good in that off lane. He does not need to take the farm lane, and of course Gyro works quite effectively as a support or a mid. So we could see that Gyrocopter going just about anywhere. Keeper of the Light and Undying certainly to be joining the carry in the tri-lane, whoever the carry will be. Waiting on a 4th pick from Navi. I'm wondering where they're putting... They'll probably put Enchantress in the jungle. Might see Magnus in the mid and Luna in the farm lane. They need some support, and there it is. Leshrac. Excellent push. Magic damage AoE. I'm wondering if we might see a Rubik pickup for Empire. Very good against Leshrac. And of course, very useful in general. Of course, that 20% magic resist null field would also be helpful for Luna. So, possible pick from Empire. That's what I would pick.
10 seconds remaining.
But Leshrac's very cool actually, and he doesn't get played a lot
5 seconds
in the,
remaining.
as I call it, the noob basement where I live, with blatant sort of mid-tier, you know. You've played about 700 games, you sort of know what you're doing, but you haven't even necessarily played all the heroes. But he basically, his ultimate is just like a Radiance, only it drains Phantom Lancer. Okay, so going to run Gyro as a support for sure then. Phantom Lancer, absolutely the carry for Team Empire, and we will see him in the farm lane. Gyro mid, and Lone Druid will be off in the solo lane, with Keeper and Undying there for ganks and farming the jungle. Phantom Lancer, I don't think you can play him as a support hero. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can't. One of the hardest carries in the game, and one of the most nasty at the end. If he is allowed to snowball, he will just push with those illusions. He can farm with them, push with them, and kill things with them all at the same time, if he has the micro to do it. Just a nasty hero, and been seeing him really stomp a lot in this tournament. Sort of, lately more than Lifestealer. I saw a lot of Lifestealer at the beginning, and I feel like it's kind of died out as people are adopting different strategies. Invoker, looks like we're going to see a Dendi Invoker this game, and that's very exciting. He'll give that Gyro his money's worth in the mid. Yep, there he goes, picking that. So Invoker, versatile hero, could be played very supporty or very carry-y. I think Dendi tends to play it very ganky style of Invoker, but
Prepare for battle.
it should be fun either way. So let's just go over who's doing what here. We've got Scandal on the Gyrocopter. Love Neela is going to be playing Keeper of the Light. Goblock is on the Undying. Blow Your Brain, and God, he might just do that, Phantom Lancer for Empire. And Fun is going to be playing the Lone Druid. And I wish he had that awesome panda bear, but he doesn't. So, but that would be more fun. But anyway, he looks pretty cool. So that's Empire, and they will be on the Dire side. For Navi, we've got Puppy on Enchantress. Light of Heaven will be playing the Magnus. Xbot is on the Luna. God. AA is on the Leshrac, and Dendi, of course, on the Invoker. And they're looking to make sure that their jungle doesn't get warded up, especially important if Enchantress is planning to be there. But it looks like Empire just going to stay on their own side, at least for now. Gyrocopter scouting this. Hopefully not going to get himself too out of position here. Looking just for the level 1 Roche, maybe. I don't think so, but you never know. Alright.
The battle begins.
So let's see how the lanes are looking here. There's Phantom Lancer up in the farm lane with Fun sitting in the jungle. Looks like he might do a jungle druid this game instead of an off-lane druid. Unusual, but not unheard of for sure. Keeper of the Light hanging out up here, of course, and Undying as well. Gyrocopter will be taking the mid versus this Invoker here. In the top solo lane, Luna. What is going on? This is just weird. Okay. I'm a little baffled. Was not expecting this. Luna in the hard lane. For reasons unknown to me, but I'm sure they've got it figured out. That's interesting. Enchantress already started jungling, of course. And she was able to pick up a Troll Warlord. Very useful for ganking, by the way. This Ensnare has 1.5 seconds of immobility for the unit, sort of like Nepos Nets. And it also has this Raise Dead, which will bring you a little extra creepage for your gank. Pretty sweet. Leshrac just hanging out here in the jungle. And Magnus in the farm lane. So we might see a carry Magnus. And this is very unusual here in this tournament. And I'm wondering if Luna's gonna... Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, what the hell? You don't carry Magnus with Luna on your team. There we go. Luna has taken her rightful spot in the farm lane and will start farming. I'm not sure what she was doing up there at top. Maybe just checking to see if they were going to run an aggressive tri-lane. Perhaps they were trying to anticipate that and have her farm up there. Here comes the gank! Enchantress and Leshrac. Beautiful.
First blood.
Enchantress gonna pick up that gold for that. And Keeper of the Light just couldn't do anything about it. It's really nice. Leshrac got the stun off, and that was all it really took. Leshrac's stun, by the way, very hard to hit, Split Earth. It's got a delay on it. I think it's 2 seconds? Nope. Oh, sorry. 0.35 seconds. 2 seconds is the delay on Wisp Teleport, by the way, which I'm sure is where my brain was for some reason. Leshrac, by the way, invisible, looking at this Phantom Lancer and thinking, can I hit it? Nope. But I can keep him off our tower. But this stun is a big deal. Damage 120 at level 1 and a stun duration of 2 seconds. So that was what made that gank on Keeper of the Light so easy. Dendi, by the way, going Exhort Invoker. Got 2 levels in that already. He's picked up that Sunstrike, which is what you saw coming down on Keeper of the Light's head over there during that gank. So last hits and denies. Let's take a look at the creep scores. Enchantress and Lone Druid bringing up the lead there for most last hits, and we're seeing a pause here. Not quite sure why, but won't stop me from looking at creep scores, will it now? Lena got a fair amount of cash. I'm going to keep calling her Lena, and I really don't know why. I'm so sorry. Luna. There is no Lena, luckily, or else then that would be really confusing. Luna doing a little bit better than Phantom Lancer by 1, which is pretty good considering that he's been up here since the beginning of the game, and she kind of got to her lane late, not sure why. And Gyrocopter is out farming Invoker in the mid right now. Not really a surprise. He does have his Rocket Barrage, which is possibly helping him out there, not sure. Looks like there's a lag on Xbox. Of course, Keeper and Undying not having a lot of money on them. Net worth going to the Luna right now for the highest. And as long as we're paused, let's take a look at their Greevils. This Greevil, by the way, you can't see it right now, but it seems to have some sort of effect on it. I think it's the Grass Greevil. Yes, check that out. That's so cool. That's awesome. Okay. So really awesome Greevil carrying stuff for Empire. And the Navi Weaselcrow, of course, carrying things for Navi. I have to look at the couriers. I'm sorry. I know most of you probably don't care, but I care. Couriers rule. Speaking of which, I can't wait to see the Lotus Blossom effect on that new Lotus chest. I might have to open one of those. Of course I'm not going to get that, but one can always hope for a second, you know? Anyway. Support Dota. It's more about supporting Dota. If you play this game enough, you should, every once in a while, buy a tournament. Check out a tournament. It's really fun, by the way. Or if not, buy a treasure key every once in a while. I know it's not worth what you're getting for it usually, but it's going to help develop the game, and that's good for everybody. Gyrocopter pretty damaged following his missile here. Of course, Invoker pretty damaged too, but look at Leshrac is coming in. He does miss the Split Earth, so it looks like Gyrocopter will be able to easily walk away from that. Of course, Invoker here using up his regen.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Oh, missed
Radiant's
that.
top tower is under attack.
So, bottom tower down, and it looks like there's a little bit of a chase going on with the Keeper. Magnus not going to be able to charge after him. Or not wanting to charge after him, perhaps. They're going to go for this tier 2. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter coming in, and that hissing sound, those ponies, are going to send Luna, Enchantress, and Magnus back on their way. It's a little too much harass there. Gyrocopter able to stun, which means that Keeper can hit the ponies and do quite a bit of damage, and then Undying finish up with a Tombstone and a little bit of, I can't remember what his ability is called. Decay, or Soul Rip, even. Could be quite a sticky situation for them to be in. So they back out. Gyrocopter coming in with the barrage. Nice Sunstrike. Oh my god. Can't believe he actually hit that. But Leshrac not able to follow up. And Gyrocopter's going to get away with 92 hit points, I think, at the time when he was lowest. 90 to 92 hit points. So a pretty narrow escape for him there. But he'll be fine. And meanwhile, Undying will come in and try to deal with this Invoker here. Blow Your Brain. Got his Ring of Basilius up. And putting quite a bit of harass here on Magnus. He's not going to pursue that. He needs to focus on farming. An unfarmed Phantom Lancer is pretty useless. Of course, once he gets that farm he needs, he will be absolutely terrifying. See about this Lone Druid, haven't really seen much of him. Of course, he's been hiding out in the jungle. He's got his Tranquil Boots up, more effective jungling, and just some farm items on the bear. Nothing big yet, although perhaps we've got something for him on this courier. Nope, going to Undying. Oh, looks like there's a little something going on here. Leshrac gets entangled. Nice hit by the bear. Keeper of the Light gonna spam that in there, and Luna's gonna hit her ultimate. Enchantress getting chased. Meanwhile, Luna does finish off the Lone Druid. And Enchantress getting chased down as well. Puppy does not look good for Puppy, and there Gyrocopter will take the hit on that. A little bit of death going on here. Looks like pretty even, really. The fact that the deaths are going to the support heroes is a good thing for both of these teams. Stun off there on Keeper. Or Keeper. Invoker. Luna Hand of Midas is up. That will slow down her first item, but of course speed up all of the items after that. Sick item for a carry to pick up. It's just more efficient in the end. And of course that extra attack speed really doesn't hurt either.
All things fall.
Oh, getting a pause again. Maybe more lag on the Luna there. Someone's unpausing. Oh, that's her again. Or him, I suppose. All these guys are guys, in fact. Putting a little bit of a harass on this lone druid, but the bear's back up. I think Luna's gonna have to be a little more conservative. Gotta worry about that entangle getting off on the bear. Meanwhile, Gyro looking for a rune, is he? He couldn't be. Oh, of course he is. Looking for the 8-minute rune. It is spawning top. I was wondering if he might come in here to try to gank Luna. Maybe later. Or maybe now. Looks like Keeper of the Light's gonna pick up that regen rune top.
Regeneration!
And he'll take that just to deny it. No one with a bottle, I don't think. Oh, Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter, excuse me. Gyro with a bottle. Invoker's just gonna skip that. And he'll be the one looking for runes, but Keeper of the Light still worried about that going to Navi. And putting a bit of a cold snap harass there on Gyro. Looks like people are gathering in the mid here for an engagement. And Enchantress making great use of this creep. Channeled ability there will do damage over time to anyone who's stuck in it. Of course, Keeper of the Light is going to spam those ponies. Dendy sloppy getting caught in there. But he'll be fine. Just a little bit of lost hit points.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, the natural push happening on the bottom tower, and Empire cannot really afford to ignore that. Up here, Phantom Lancer getting chased by Magnus. Here comes Dendy just throwing down a little Sunstrike for some harass there, but Blow Your Brain is going to walk away using the Doppelwalk ability of Phantom Lancer. Picking up his Yasha, by the way. Not bad. Net worths still lagging behind Luna, and that is going to continue, by the way. Hand of Midas is going to allow her to farm more efficiently than Phantom Lancer, at least until he gets those illusions farming for him in the jungle. So, if that Luna can make a move earlier, she might be in a good position to do so. Meanwhile, trying to get what farm she can with this bear here. And Puppy might come in for a gank. Luna getting the stun. Enchantress is going to hit that slow. And there goes the impetus. The Luna ult. And down goes the lone druid. Meanwhile, his team is showing up to avenge him. But Luna's going to just TP out of here. And do they even see her? I'm not sure. I think they would have attacked her if they had seen her, but I'm not sure they did. And that homing missile, by the way, is still going to hit her at some point, but she's way behind lines where she's safe. And I think it's pulling the creeps, actually, as it goes through. As we noticed in the last game, Blayton and I, that we saw when a gyrocopter missile is aiming towards the fountain, it has this habit of pulling creeps along with it, which I wonder if could be used to stack somehow. Probably not. Not in any practical way, but for those of us who find those things amusing, it's pretty amusing. So, not too much going on in the mid here. Curious about creep scores. Creep score for Invoker 42 and 29. Oh, are you serious? Of course, I'm looking over here at these stats and this stuff is happening. My apologies. Leshrac got killed. Looks like he bit off more than he can chew going up here. With a Keeper nearby to support this Phantom Lancer. And of course, Magnus did get out of there, but he wasn't looking so good when he left. So they'll go back out and resume what they were doing. Leshrac level 6, by the way, but you'll notice he did not pick up his ultimate. It is very mana intensive, which makes it somewhat impractical to use early on in the game. Leshrac, a very mana hungry hero. You've just got to get items on him to offset the need for more mana than he really has. Undying picking up double damage. Going back mid. Team's very spread out across the map. Looks like Leshrac is going to run into a sticky situation here again. And AA is having some trouble. Phantom Lancer is just feeding on him. Magnus able to pull off the skewer and get away. But a little sloppy, I think, on Leshrac's part. He might have been trying to ward up the jungle or something, but it certainly didn't do him any good. Getting himself killed out there. Meanwhile, Puppy and Xbot going after this lone druid again. The assist from Invoker with the Sunstrike, but Gyrocopter's gonna come in here, and this Enchantress is getting into... Oh, this is bad for Enchantress. She's dead. She's dead, but so is Gyrocopter if this Luna can keep hitting this hard. She will be able to get away. That bear not able to attack once he gets too far away from the lone druid. Not able to ensnare, and Luna will walk away to safety. Enchantress a bit out of position, I think, in that situation, although it ended up being something of a trade. So Invoker meanwhile putting a little bit of pressure on the mid, while Phantom Lancer and Undying are going to push the top tower. Magnus very low. Undying is able to put a lot of harass on him, and I think Phantom Lancer might finish him off. Yes, no, no, oh my god, reverse polarity, there he goes. Did finish him, but Leshrac able to get the stun off, and Luna teleporting in. Unfortunately, Leshrac getting the kill, and Luna will finish off the Undying, who is still left alive after all of that. So nice poured in by Luna. She really, she got some good money out of that. Well worth it for her. Well worth it for her team. She might have saved Leshrac's bacon there. Yasha and Luna, by the way. If I go look at the items, I'm probably going to miss something important. So I'll sort of hang on for a second. Keeper's going to spam those ponies, and Enchantress will take the brunt of that. But no big deal. And meanwhile, also Invoker pushing the mid here. So a lot of push coming out from Navi. And I'm not sure what Empire can really do about it at this stage. Of course, they do have the harder carry, so they can hope that things do get to late game. That Phantom Lancer will start to look pretty terrifying. Looks like he's working on his Diffusal Blade now. That's what that Blade of Alacrity looks like to me. Half a Diffusal Blade, or less than half, but you know what I'm saying.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they're gonna push mid now. Slowly. Pretty slowly. So any case, let's see, the bear, by the way, not looking very farmed this game, and we're used to seeing very farmed lone druids with a Radiance on the bear, Hand of Midas on the bear. Not happening this game. Looks like he didn't get too much going on there in the jungle. Of course, he's had to be around to help the team, and the middle tower will go right down. Bear not able to do anything about it by himself. Light of Heaven's going to go back here to make sure Phantom Lancer does not push their top tower too hard. Very protective of their towers this game, Navi has been, and able so far to keep all three in pretty good health. All three tier 1 towers still up, and none of them having taken significant damage. So it's all on Blow Your Brain here, and I hope he does, because I want a good game. We all do. It would be pretty sad to see it end too quickly and too easily. Just illusions here. Meanwhile, Enchantress Puppy gonna scout out the jungle a little bit. Gyrocopter disconnected. Looks like we're gonna have a pause here, and I can check out this item list a little more in depth. So Enchantress, by the way, building an Urn of Shadows. That's very good recommended build on her, and I know it works great. I think it's because of the mana regeneration, extra strength doesn't hurt, and I guess she tends to be around the kills more, and already has a heal, so it's better for her to have more heal. But I've never honestly understood why specifically Enchantress would carry that. But anyway, it's a recommended item for her, and why not? Dendi on the Invoker has picked up his Force Staff, so that's going to be useful, I'm sure. He knows what he's doing with it. Lots of mana boots on the Radiant team, and there's an easy reason to see why. Chantress uses up a lot of mana if she can just keep casting Impetus. Luna, of course, needing that for her ulti and to be able to spam those moonbeams, lucent beams. Invoker, do I really need to say? And of course Leshrac, exceedingly mana hungry, so those mana boots going to help him out quite a bit as the game goes on. And we're still seeing that Hand of Midas working out for Luna. She's got an ultimate orb in her stash, so Manta style going to be coming out on the Luna. For the Dire team, looks like we've got the Diffusal Blade is being worked on by Phantom Lancer, but he needs to work on that a little harder. He does have another 1,000, so he can pick up his second great Blade of Alacrity. So that might help a bit, but I'd like to see him farming up a little faster than he is at the moment. I'm worried about that, actually, that he might not be able to get into carry mode fast enough to make this game happen for Empire. A lot of Tranquil Boots on their side. Tranquil Boots, of course, excellent because they give you that extra regen whenever you need it, and also because I think this is hugely underrated. 75 movement speed. And these boots are cheap, guys. You've only paid $450 for the Boots of Speed base. It's not very much more to go ahead and boost that up to 75 movement speed. And of course you've got the armor and HP regeneration without the active heal. They're just really good. Even if you're not planning to end with Tranquil Boots, sometimes it's a nice idea to build them in the beginning of the game, because then you can take them apart and actually reuse those components. That Ring of Protection and the Ring of Regen, useful for other items as well, and you are able to disassemble those. So, nice. I like the Tranquil Boots. Of course, I see why Navi has mana boots on everyone. And it looks like Keeper is starting to build his mechanism there, but it might take him a little bit. Magnus may be a good candidate for the mech for Navi, but those items are a little bit lower priority at the moment. Of course, you gotta get your wards and such. Not sure what the issue is here. That gyrocopter has just reconnected, so it looks like everything should be back going in a second here. He has to rejoin his teammates on Skype. Perhaps his computer blue screened him or something. That would be horrible. Can you imagine being in one of these playoff games? It's the final game, you're all pumped, kind of tired, and suddenly your computer just dies. That would suck. So I'm just guessing that might be what happened. I don't actually know. Anyway, Centaur Khan scouting out this jungle as Navi gets into position to push the top tower. Going to take away some of the safety that Phantom Lancer might have farming up here. And here we go. We're going to see the engagement before they have a chance to really get there. The bear, by the way, is stunned by that Centaur, I think. And it looks like the stun is going to go off on Magnus unless Navi is able to destroy this homing missile. They are running away. Oh my god, is there a disconnect somewhere? No. So the stun does get off, but they have backed off, and I think that Empire does not want to engage this way. Oh my god, but the Luna does double damage. She is running right in there, and I think that could have been dangerous. That gyrocopter homing missile focused on her, and she's taken a bit of damage already. They are able to bring it down, and it looks like Empire is going to back off. No bloodshed so far. Navi, meanwhile, not giving up on this push. Luna still got her double damage. That Manta style is up. They're going to go after Gyrocopter. Phantom Lancer is there, though, and he is generating Lancers pretty quickly. Of course, Luna's glaives are very good against that, able to dispel those illusions by dealing damage to multiple targets.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
She's a very good hero against Phantom Lancer for that reason. She sort of has that built-in cleave, and even if they're not all bunched together, god, the Luna illusion still dealing some nice damage to Gyrocopter, and Dendi following that up with a Sunstrike. He will have to go back to base. Either that or find some other way to regen himself. Back to base it is. And that top tower did go down. I think they're not done. They'd like to push the second tower. And again, oh, they're done. Nope, they're done. I still think they need to push pretty soon. Luna, by the way, down here to protect again this bottom tower and keep that lone druid off the farm.
Tower is under attack.
They will have to go at some point, because even with his Hand of Midas, at some point Phantom Lancer will be able to outfarm Luna, although they've made that very difficult for him by knocking these towers down. It is no longer safe in the jungle. And here we go, smoke gang, or should I say smoke team fight. Magnus, nice play, grouping up, and they're going to take out Keeper of the Light and Gyrocopter, easy. Meanwhile, I think something's going on here with Luna and the lone druid, but he's going to walk away. She'll put a lot of damage on that bear before it will be forced to run off, and it looks like she's going to get this tower. She gets the tower. Meanwhile, split push. The rest of the team attacking top. Phantom Lancer is just sending out spam, as is Undying really with that tombstone, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Na'Vi very much here. Empire getting pushed hard. They will back off.
Dire's bottom tower is
And
under
Phantom
attack.
Lancer is not going to be able to get the farm he needs in this situation. They're kind of stuck on the base at this point. They have no vision outside at the moment, which is just totally painful. That's sort of course it's a gold advantage to have your towers down. And of course your team doesn't have anywhere to retreat to. But I think something that's seriously underrated about a pushing strategy is that when you knock the other team's towers down, they have no idea what's going on out there on the map. And that's so huge. Roshan down easily. And I think the Aegis is going to Luna. Luna looking very fat right now. She's got that eagle song up. Looks like she'll be going butterfly next. Assuming the game goes that long. I think she'll get enough kills that she will. If it keeps on like this. Beginning to wonder if I should have watched one of the first games. The first game looked like it might have been a little more even. But who knows? It's not over yet. Empire still could come back. We shall see. Can't believe this bear doesn't have a radiance. Everywhere I look, I see a bear with a radiance. And this one finally doesn't have one. Does have that orb of venom up. And Lone Druid actually has a pretty good chunk of change there, but certainly not enough to get that sacred relic. Luna continuing to push and farm at the same time. Not bad if you can do it. And it looks like the rest of Na'Vi is going to be going ahead and smoking in. So we will follow that. Leshrac leading it up, scouting. And meanwhile, Phantom Lancer's illusions are going to push back. Keep those lanes pushed out a bit, and also get Phantom Lancer some farm pretty safely. He does have his Diffusal up, level 1 Diffusal Blade, and he's going to go ahead and make himself invisible to scout out. Oh, Phantom Lancer, you don't know what you're walking into. Oh my god. Oh, he's so dead. I don't know how he can get around this. He will take out Leshrac though. Enchantress meanwhile going to use Impetus, and the rest of his team showing up actually. Magnus going to go down. Gyrocopter being a key player there by getting his ultimate off. But not a good exchange. Believe it or not, Na'Vi lost 2 and Empire lost 1, but not a good exchange for Empire. That Phantom Lancer is not someone they wanted to see go down, and he does not have buyback either. Of course, Na'Vi a little not able to push now with Leshrac and Magnus down, but they'll be up in a few seconds.
Heard of me?
Spot out farming. Of course, we don't have Phantom Lancer over here. Keeper does have the mech up. That could be useful in keeping their base towers. I'm not sure if they can get around this at this point though, honestly. Not really sure about that. Difference in gold is hugely on the Radiant side, as is experience. I think this game has probably snowballed at this point. Actually, I'm going to keep that buyback status up there because I think that could become important shortly. Here we go. Luna finds Undying here, and her ultimate does not finish him off. Blinding Light from Keeper, nicely done. But he goes down pretty easily, and Dendi coming out with that Sunstrike, able to pick off that Undying.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
Just
fortified.
perfectly executed. Gyrocopter getting Luna off of their base tower. And gonna put the stun on her. She does so much damage that doesn't even matter. Look at this, Butterfly is up. That Hand of Midas really working out for her. She has just out-farmed the entire Team Empire. And Bear entangles her, but it doesn't mean anything. She's just gonna keep hitting that tower. And why not, really? Magnus, a lot of damage on Magnus and Leshrac, and the Luna looking pretty damaged as well. Does manage to get her Hand of Midas there. Doesn't want to waste any time on that where it's off cooldown, even if she were to die. And it looks like Empire has successfully got them off the racks for now. But that is not going to last. That urn coming in pretty handy right now. Enchantress in a bit of trouble there, but luckily that slow is going to work for her. By the way, she did not put in any levels in the passive slow. Interesting choice. She might want to start thinking about that at this point. Perhaps she's better served by having them in stats. Meanwhile, Empire doing everything they can to keep their towers. But look at this, these illusions from the Manta style are just pushing this tower by themselves and doing quite a bit of damage to Undying as well. Look at this, the Lone Druid down trying to push a tower. I'm not sure what he thought it would do him, but he will get out. His teleport is going to go before anyone could get a stun on him, which is really too bad because Lucent Beam, I think, should interrupt a town port. It is a mini stun. I have not checked whether that's on the list of things that interrupts a teleport, but I would assume so. Most stuns will do that. So they were not able to see him. Nice juking by Lone Druid. And he will live to see another day here. I don't think there's any coming back from this at this point, but it'll still be a bit before the final push from Navi, giving Phantom Lancer a little bit of time to try and see if he can start snowballing. I think it's a little too late. He needed that earlier momentum and he did not have it. But he's gathering a little bit of money here, so we'll see. They do have the wards out, so they will know where Navi is coming. These Luna Illusions, by the way, is doing so much push. And it's totally safe push, that's the worst part. Alright, Gyrocopter's actually looking okay with his items. He's never gonna get that BKB done though, if that's what that Ogre Club is for. I think he's being a little bit optimistic. Of course, in the meantime, it will give him a few extra hit points, and any extra hit points at this point would be helpful. They've spotted the Luna. Empire is going to come in from the side. I'm sure they're smoked. Yes, they are. They're going to go for this Luna. They know she's alone. Phantom Lancer is going to hit his lance. She is slowed, and she is in deep trouble. The stun will be going on her, and there's nothing she can do. Of course, her team coming in.
Where are you going?
We've got Enchantress here, Puppy, and those Manta Illusions still there. Puppy, I think that might have been bold. If that bear could get an entangle off, Enchantress would be in trouble too, but it matters not because Empire is going to back off. Leshrac pushing towers in the meantime, hoping to get those racks. But Empire did get back to respond to that, and Gyro, very nice ultimate. He's going to catch Invoker as well, finishing the Leshrac. Meanwhile, Invoker is able to send Kotal, Phantom, and Gyro back their way. Back into the base. And this is just not... Having this mid tower down is basically meaning that Empire has got to respond to anything that happens here in the mid. Because, oh, Gyrocopter is picking up his Black King bar. That kill there, helping him along a bit, I'm sure. So, not so optimistic, perhaps. Maybe I missed him having whatever those pink things are, point booster, whatever they are. Which would make it a little less unreachable. Dendi pushing the mid here. Got Magnus farming away in the jungle. Chantress farming away in the jungle. Leshrac farming away in the jungle. And they're just waiting for Luna, who has her Reaver now, by the way, as well. Lot of hit points on that Luna. She's looking like a tank. She's dealing a lot of damage, and she's got the evasion from the butterfly as well. So hard to hit. Meanwhile, Phantom Lancer is going to be able to start a little bit of a push if his illusions can make it to the next creep wave. And he's also farming there. Got the Doppel walk up, and he's going to scout out the Luna in the jungle. Not much he can do about it, though. Not alone, anyway. Phantom Lancer, by the way, as you can see on the minimap, basically making up all the heroes up here in the dire jungle. Looks like Undying has been spotted out, and this is not good for him. By the way, also something going on with Enchantress here, who's going to come. They will meet. Enchantress running towards Invoker, but Invoker is busy with Undying. Enchantress will go down. And it looks like that Sunstrike is going to hit, finishing off Undying. Beautifully placed Sunstrike. And Leshrac and Luna are a little too late to save their allies, but they might not be too late to kill this Phantom Lancer. Nice ice wall. Stun is off. Can she chase him down? No. That entangle coming off from the bear. Nice ultimate by Luna. Looks like the bear is going to go down. And very little death considering Dendi looking in the wrong spot with that Sunstrike. Relatively bloodless for the number of heroes that ended up in one spot on the map. Empire is not going to lie down and let this one go. Phantom Lancer keeping up his farm, and perhaps starting to pick up his farm at this point. Looks like he's looking to get a Heart of Tarask as his next item, and he does have enough money for the Reaver portion of that as well. Luna, meanwhile, soloing Roshan, and they know she's in there. Looks like we might see a team fight. Chantress gonna go in there for the heal. Tombstone goes up. Invoker's luckily got all this AoE, and Magnus, Light of Heaven, beautiful ulti, and look at that skewer. Oh my god. Perfect play by Magnus. Gyrocopter has managed to get his BKB off, but he's too damaged to get away, and the bear is gonna go down too. Luna, meanwhile, chasing the lone druid, but he's got plenty of hit points, and he'll be able to get away, I think. Oh, not going back through there. There is no tower. Never mind. Things looking a little awkward. If the slow can go off, and with enough stun, they might be able to take him. Nice by Invoker. And that's it for Lone Druid as well. They do chase him into the base. Had the mid tower been there, things might have gone differently for him. But as it was, he had to go too far around. And with all the slow, the stun, he was not able to get away. So this is looking like GG now. They will be able to push down the top racks already gone. They'll also be able to push down the mid racks. Those glaives. Luna's glaives showing what they can do at this point. Hitting multiple structures. And they're going to go ahead and take bottom too. Just in case. A little bit of insurance. Make sure they get some mega creeps if they can. But Empire's going to come out and try to defend. Undying will pop the tombstone. And here comes the bear. Gyrocopter. Ult is going to miss. And that's really too bad. Luna going sort of aggressively this way out of the ult. She's going to get Keeper of the Light with her ultimate, doing a lot of damage to Gyrocopter with those glaives, and she will take him out as well. This is totally GG right here, by the way. Bottom racks and towers all down. And Sunstrike in the fountain, followed by Luna just diving the fountain at this point, and she will die there. But of course she has Aegis. That bear ensnaring her there. Leshrak's gonna pull off a stun if he can. No, Luna will just die in the fountain, but you know what? It probably doesn't matter. Magnus trying to save her, but nothing doing. It doesn't matter. Empire's disconnecting. GG has been called. Good game, solid game by Navi. I don't think Empire was really competitive at any point in this game. It was certainly even throughout the beginning, but things kind of just snowballed, and snowballed very surely. No back and forth here. In any case, Empire will have another shot. They will be going to the loser bracket, so they can work their way to the finals from there. Navi will be going on to the next game in the winner bracket, and I'm not sure who they'll be facing. Oh, Light of Heaven. They're going for some multi-kills, trying to give some prizes to the fans maybe, but not doing it in time. In any case, glorious victory. Navi going to proceed to the next round in the winners bracket, and Empire again will have another chance to show their stuff and proceed in the loser bracket. So a quick look especially at the items on the carries. I always like to see that. By the way, Enchantress, not the carry here, but Scepter on her is just ridiculously good, and if you play Enchantress you should build that. Luna did finish up that game with a BKB Manta. She still had her hand of Midas up, Heart of Tarrasque, and a Butterfly, so not much Phantom Lancer could really do, just a Diffusal Blade, a Yasha. He did end up with his heart at the end, but it just wasn't enough. So, in any case, I hope you enjoyed this third game in the Defense Tournament playoff stage, Navi versus Empire. If you enjoyed my cast, I'm doing plenty more Defense Tournament as well as first-person casts, so go ahead and check out my other videos. Subscribe if you enjoyed this very much, and hopefully see you next time.